Hi, my name is Luke, and today I'll present my recent work on how geography shapes genealogies and genes. The question we try to answer is, how do landscapes shape frontier populations? We'll try and answer this question by using genotype data from 10,000 individuals from Quebec, of which about 2,000 consented to being linked to a spatial pedigree. This pedigree is made up of over 6 million parish records dating back to the founding of the French colony. We acknowledge that there is little representation from Indigenous peoples who have been occupying this land for thousands of years. Figures A and B show the projection of this genotype data using PCA and UMAP. I used the 3D projections to convert XYZ to RGB to get the color scheme. Visually, we see there is a strong link between the geographic and genetic clustering. We find that each genetic cluster maps to a distinct region in geographic space. We wanted to see how local topography influences regional gene flow. We compared the average length of segments that are identical by descent between people from different locations and find a continuous decay, as expected from classical isolation by distance models. We look beyond these continuous models at geographic features that influence migration rates, like how the Saint Laurent River increases with width. We find a reduction in gene flow as measured by FST across the river. Because we also have the genealogy, we can investigate in detail topographical and seasonal effects on migration rates. We hypothesize that ice bridges could have influenced seasonal marriage rates across the river. We were able to visualize the migration patterns up and down the river for the entire colonial history of Quebec, revealing in detail patterns of migrations like serial founder events and more recent urban migrations. Another way to visualize these non-uniform migration patterns is through a migration vector field, or the prevailing winds as I like to call them. If your parents migrated to get here, where did they come from? Here we find that migrations tend to follow shorelines and then gradually move further inland. To determine how much ancestral French population structure is maintained in the population, a colleague of mine simulated genomes by tracing lineages in the real Quebec genealogy. These simulations exquisitely reproduce measured population structure. These plots compare a subset of the same individuals using both simulated and real genotype data. The recent colonial history in Quebec has both shaped the population and is preserved in genealogical records. Our best population genetic models assume random migration patterns. These genealogical data can help determine how granular idiosyncratic migration patterns eventually turn into continuous isolation by distance. Simulated data reflecting genuine structure that is linked to a real pedigree is an ideal tool for investigating continental and fine-scale patterns of demography. Thanks for your time, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.